Security footage. Grainy. Black and white. A young woman steps into a hotel elevator. She presses every button on the panel, all of them at once. She steps out, looks down the hallway, steps back in. She talks to someone who isn't there. The doors won't close. This is the last confirmed footage of her, ever. 19 days later, her body is found somewhere that should have been physically impossible to reach. Her name was Elisa Lam, 21 years old. A student from Vancouver, traveling alone down the California coast. On January 26, 2013, she checked into the Cecil Hotel in downtown Los Angeles, a building near Skid Row, with a reputation that long preceded her, decades of deaths, and at least 2 former guests who went on to become notorious killers. She'd been calling her parents every single day. On January 31st, the calls stopped. Her belongings, wallet, ID, laptop were still in her room. She wasn't. Police searched the building floor by floor. They found nothing. 2 weeks into the search, investigators released 4 minutes of elevator surveillance footage, hoping someone watching would recognize her. What they got instead was a viral phenomenon. In the clip, Lam is alone. She presses multiple buttons at once. She peers out through the open doors, ducks into the corner, and appears to gesture and talk toward someone the camera never shows. The elevator doors won't close, the kind of malfunction that usually means something is physically blocking the track. Nothing is visible blocking it. She eventually walks away down the hall. Out of frame. That's the last anyone sees of her alive. Millions of people would eventually watch this clip. And almost everyone who did came away with a different theory about what it showed. For nearly 3 weeks, nothing. Then hotel guests started complaining. The water tasted strange, the pressure was weak. A maintenance worker went up to the roof to check the tanks. On February 19th, he found her body inside one of them. Here's the detail that made this case impossible to let go of. Getting to that roof required bypassing a locked, alarmed door, and even after that, scaling a 10-foot ladder just to reach the opening of the tank itself. No sign of forced entry. No alarm triggered. No footage of her ever going up. The building had been searched by trained officers twice before her body was found, including areas near that rooftop. They missed her the entire time. The coroner ruled her death an accidental drowning. The report cited low levels of medication in her system and pointed to bipolar disorder, a condition she'd been diagnosed with as a likely contributing factor, consistent with a psychotic episode. No trauma, no evidence anyone else was involved. That's the official conclusion. It's also the part that never satisfied the internet. Because an official ruling doesn't explain how a 5-foot-tall woman climbed a locked ladder, opened a heavy tank lid built to be difficult to move, and did it all without triggering a single alarm or leaving a trace. The coroner's report answered what killed her. It never fully answered how she got there. This is where the story stops being about Elisa Lam and starts being about everyone who watched the footage after her. Amateur investigators dissected every frame of that elevator clip. Zoomed in, slowed down, cross-referenced against hotel logs, hotel guests, hotel employees. One theory locked onto a Mexican musician who performed under a dark stage name, based almost entirely on his aesthetic and an old video filmed inside the same hotel. His actual stay had happened roughly a year before Lam ever checked in. He wasn't even in the country when she died. None of that mattered once the accusation went viral. He was harassed across every platform he used. His accounts were mass reported until they were shut down. Investigators in his own country came to his home asking about the accusations. Eventually, the pressure became so severe he attempted to take his own life and was hospitalized. He was never a suspect, not once. Investigators confirmed it publicly. Here's what makes this different from every other case on this channel. Most internet mysteries end with a puzzle unsolved. This one ended with a real person's life getting destroyed by people who were certain they'd solved it. A forensic pathologist interviewed about the case put it plainly: the public never had access to the full evidence the coroner used to close it. People online weren't working with less information because they were careless. They were working with less information because that's what everyone watching a viral clip actually has. A few minutes of footage and no medical file, no toxicology report, no interview transcripts. The confidence people felt watching that elevator video was never backed by the evidence they were missing. It just felt that way because the footage was unsettling enough to fill in the blanks itself. Elisa Lam's official cause of death has a name: accidental drowning, with mental illness as a contributing factor. How she got past a locked door and up a 10-foot ladder still doesn't have one. Maybe it never will, but the elevator footage did solve one mystery, just not the one everyone was looking for. It proved how easily a few minutes of unexplained footage can turn thousands of strangers into investigators, confident enough to ruin an innocent person's life over a hunch. The case of what happened to Elisa Lam may never fully close. What the internet did with that footage while trying to close it, that part is already fully documented.